Hello, and welcome to Round Glass. My name is Lisa Kring. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, a senior mindfulness teacher, and a long-time committed practitioner of Vipassana Buddhism. And I'm so honored to be your mindful guide at this time, supporting the practice of literally holding yourself with self-compassion. How is everyone feeling this evening? Please feel free to share in the chat. Love to feel really, really connected to everyone as best as possible. It's really beautiful and powerful to be live streaming in real time, practicing and connecting to you all right now. So before we move into the practice, I'd just love to say a few words just as an introduction to this very powerful, it's very simple, it's radically simple, but powerful. So just as an introduction, wanting to just invite you to explore the experience of being physically held and comforted by a friend when you are down. Do you know that experience when someone really literally puts their hands on you and holds you? Maybe with no words, just this beautiful, compassionate hand on the body. It's so powerful. And as we all know deeply, it can just go beyond any words. I think that you'll agree with me that we're all literally in need of being held right now. And it's especially poignant as we come out of this very painful year of physical distancing. What's really great to discover is that we can actually literally hold ourselves in self-compassion. That's hard to believe, but it's true. The heart, the body, it does not discriminate in any way between the comforting touch of a dear friend and our own supportive gestures. This is really documented by research, supported in studies. So in this practice that I'm going to invite you to explore for yourself right now, I'm really interested in helping you discover for yourself a direct experience, visceral experience of self-compassion. And this can bypass any argument or story in the mind and drop you into a tangible felt experience of self-compassion in any moment, especially when you're suffering or struggling or feeling alone in any moment, by literally and simply holding yourself like a good friend. So we'll be settling into some mindful, embodied presence, and then together I'll invite us to know the transformative power of self-compassionate touch as a deep practice, especially for right now at these times. So just really inviting again, if there's any connection through the chat, I see we have someone who says that they're feeling guilty because she missed a deadline at work. Yeah, someone else is feeling very focused and in the groove and getting things done. That's beautiful. And lastly, I see that someone is feeling connected to nature after a hike through the forest. See, this is all true, and everybody is coming and landing into this practice together from very different places, and we're learning to gather without any judgment, just as you are. And if you have had a hard day, if you're feeling guilty, if you're coming into this practice right now with any degree of stress or suffering that's anywhere in the body, the heart, the mind, all the better. Because compassion, we're going to be doing self-compassionate touch in this practice. We'll settle first. But compassion is really this response in the heart to any moment of suffering. So it's incredibly powerful, and it's exactly what's needed if we've had a hard day, as some of you shared. Of course, people are really coming from all different places in their day, and everyone is welcome. So let's begin. and settle in. And what I'd love to invite you to do, perhaps you're new to meditation, perhaps you've had some practice experience. What I'd like you to do is just open up to this practice with a kind of beginner's mind as if you've never really practiced before. It's really powerful to just drop into this body right now and explore a posture right now that feels alive and fully present, relaxed and at ease, but awake and connected. So let the body discover that. The way I'm sitting right now, there's no perfect or right way to sit, that's for sure. You might want to make sure that the lower half of the body feels very stable and supported. Now, really supporting the upper half of the body. You might want to bring a little bit of energy to the spine, all the way up to the base of the neck. But make sure that the chest feels open and relaxed. The shoulders are open and rolled back a bit. So just finding that for yourself. And settle into this practice now that I'm so honored to offer, just as you are. So take a moment to just rest and connect to this body in this posture that feels relaxed and yet awake. We're learning to really connect to what's already here. There's nothing that you need to do or make happen. It's much more about aligning and actually feeling. We're learning to really feel into our direct experience in the moment. Dropping into connection with this body, this moment of life, just as it is. So let's just take a few minutes to really land into mindful, embodied presence. Take a nice deep breath in, really allowing yourself to feel the flow of the breath that's flowing in your direction. You might want to slow it down just a little bit. And you can simply sit back a bit and allow just a deep cleansing breath to support the experience of the mind-body connection, to really feeling the breath in the body just as it is. And as you breathe out, allowing the whole body to release more fully into this posture. And feel free to take as many deep cleansing breaths as you like. And as you breathe out, you can allow the out breath, really slowing that down, to be like a gentle cleansing wave that flows throughout the whole body, releasing tension in the muscles of the face, the jaw, releasing in the shoulders, releasing in the chest, letting go in the belly. And as you let go with every breath, begin to feel as a way to become more present. Begin to feel into the truth of the earth completely supporting and holding this body. The earth is always supporting and holding the body in every moment of life. But we're not always in alignment with that experience. So see what it's like to surrender and drop down more deeply into the earth. how the body literally rests on the earth. And let the experience of grounding, allowing the body to be fully held, allow that to naturally bring some calm to the body's systems, even to the mind muscle. As you become more fully present, just as you are. And allow the felt sense of the grounded, connected body, fully supported, deeply connected to the earth. Allow that felt experience to move gently into the foreground. The truth of that. For all of us right now, in this moment, we're all connected to the earth together. It's holding us all. Allow that felt sense of the body to move gently into the foreground, and just allow everything else, any sounds, distractions, other sensations, thoughts, not a problem at all. But just gently inviting all of that to move into the background. Not the main focus right now. And simply allow the felt sense of the body on the earth, supported and held, gently embraced by gravity, intimately, tenderly held. Let that move into the foreground, bringing calm and mindful presence. As you connect to and rest in the body in this way, just beginning to warm up the heart in that spirit of self-compassion, and begin to sense into and actually feel the warm and good heart that brought you to this experience right now. Feel into that goodness that wants the very best for you, that wants you to feel comforted, connected, and supported in your life. Especially in moments that are challenging in any way. So feel into that good heart and let that bring you into alignment with this intention of self-compassion for yourself, just as you are. As you land in this body and this heart, you can expand the awareness to just feel into the landscape of your life at this time. You can feel into and acknowledge all of the blessings in your life, no matter how small. But you can also allow this very kind and compassionate awareness that brought you here. Allow it to expand to also include any aspects of your life right now that are perhaps more challenging. This is the same for all of us. Life is always bittersweet. Feel into any challenges, and as you do, open up to them enough to feel, allowing yourself to feel just enough the truth of whatever is difficult. That to some degree this is painful. It is challenging. It's not easy. And as you feel into the truth of that, really offering now and inviting this practice of literally holding ourselves with self-compassion in direct response right now to the experience in our lives that might be difficult. And just following the guidance of my voice, I'd like you to just try on these different simple gestures. And we'll begin just as you are, still feeling connected to the truth of your life, those darker notes. Begin by placing one hand, your palm, directly on your chest, where your heart is. And as you do this, let the placement of your hand be one of incredible tenderness to yourself, like you would do to somebody that you loved who was struggling in any way. And let that touch be as tender and as loving and supportive as possible. And in this practice, simply drop down into the felt experience of your warm and supportive touch. And simply soak and savor in the felt experience of that. You can add a little bit of movement. You can make this your own. Let this be the real thing. Really care. Only you know what you truly need. To bring up the volume on this experience, if you like, you can place both hands directly on your chest and simply receive with the experience as you hold your own heart right now. You can literally rub your heart. You can massage it. As I invite you to explore these different gestures, simply rest and notice the experience. If there is a palpable sense of warmth and support and tenderness that you can feel right now, all for you, like you would from a dear friend who just loved you so much. Next, if you like, you can allow one hand to remain on the chest area, and you can put another hand on the belly. So one hand is on the chest, and the other is on the belly. And you can literally hold the chest, the heart, and the belly together. And notice what it's like to place your hands on this deep belly region. This is where we can get in touch with our deep intuitive truth. Really feeling into our truth. If you like, you can very gently place both hands on the belly now. Really just trying these different gestures on for yourself to see if any of these gestures bring about a feeling of palpable support in direct response to anything that is going on in your life right now that is difficult or challenging. If you want, you can warm this up with some movement. You can really massage or apply a bit of pressure and see what it's like to really support yourself. Really getting on your own best side. Being right there for yourself, not to fix yourself or to make anything different, but just to care and to hold in self-compassion. Next, if you like, you can try the gesture of gently taking the palm of your hand and very tenderly cradling your cheek into your palm. This can be an incredibly tender experience if you melt into the gesture. Often our heads, our brains are just overwhelmed. And this is a wonderful self-compassionate gesture that literally holds this head. You can stroke your cheek tenderly. It's almost as if deep down inside of all of us, there's a little child that's needing to be caressed and tenderly felt and held. Let yourself melt into the experience like a child. To bring up the volume on this, if you want, you can place both palms and just cradle the entire head. You can rub the temples. You can literally hold your head, your brain that may be so full, and just hold and tenderly caress this head like you would to somebody that you care about so much, perhaps a dear child. And do this for yourself and simply receive it without judgment. And finally, offering the final gesture, and this is quite literally, where you can place both hands literally wrapping your arms around yourself. Make sure that you can keep your eyes closed so that you can drop more deeply into the experience. You can literally hold yourself. You can add some movement to it. You can squeeze and hold any tight muscles in the neck or the arms. Most importantly, make sure that the quality of this touch, this hug, is tender and real, truly caring for yourself. Given whatever it is that is going on in your life. Lastly, if you like, and all of these gestures that I'm offering, these are all really evidence-based. There's research to show that this brings us into the mammalian caregiving system that deactivates the stress response in the body. So don't be shy. If you like, you can even begin to rock very slowly and gently back and forth. We all need to be held and rocked and loved just as we are. So for this last minute of this practice, just soaking, bathing in your own warm physical support. You can rest in any of these gestures that for you felt just right for this last minute. Oftentimes, for some, just placing one hand on the other hand, holding your hand, sometimes that alone can be an experience of self-compassion and support. So in this final minute, just resting and bathing in the wake of any of these gestures. And just reflect, what did you notice? Which gestures really allowed you to feel the heart blossom like a flower into that bloom of self-compassion where the heart just melts? There may be some gestures that even bring some strong emotion, where the heart begins to break open with tears of compassion. And this is really healing and very important. And just know that you can move into any of these gestures throughout your day whenever you feel that you need this healing. When we use different gestures in this way for ourselves, it delivers us into a direct experience of self-compassion. It regulates the nervous system. Much like when a good friend gives you a hug and you can just feel your whole system relax and open again to life. So I'm just going to ring the prayer bowl to end this practice. I'll ring it 3 times, but continue to rest in your own self-compassion to any degree. So warmly inviting you to open your eyes and really join me fully in this live stream together. And in these last few minutes, it's wonderful to have and to open to some questions if anyone does have them. So wanting to very, very much just open to the group. And as we do, wanting to say that this practice has become primary in my own personal life. When I first started doing these gestures for myself, at first it did feel, I felt a little self-conscious about it. But very quickly I noticed that my nervous system just immediately melted into a feeling of incredible healing, and that it felt no different when my intention to myself in a moment of suffering was authentic and real, where I could meet myself just as I was with one of these gestures, sometimes more powerful than any words can be. I noticed that I suddenly could really melt into the experience even when I was alone. And that throughout my day, I am literally putting, for me a lot, putting my hand on my heart is the gesture that really helps stabilize and regulate my nervous system in a self-compassionate way. And when I place my hand on my heart, I do it throughout the day, when I'm by myself, also when I'm with others. And what's so interesting is nobody seems to notice that I'm doing it. It's so organic and so simple and so um, it's so intimate and connected to my felt experience that I think it actually makes other people unconsciously, because we're all reading each other's body language. Our body language is very powerful. So that when I start to move into these gestures in a really simple way, even with others, I can feel that it calms everyone down. So when you practice this, know that it often flows into support for others as well. That self-compassion, we begin with ourselves, and its nature is to flow outward. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this practice and that you can make it your own and use it throughout your day. I'd like for you to follow me on my profile to practice this session again, just so you can see it again and feel into it again, make it more your own. And you can also see when I'm going live next. I'll always be here every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Join me anytime on Round Glass so that you too can say in any moment, welcome home.